Hi, I'm Alex. Um, I also go by Sage. Try it
We'll
one more
try
time.
again.
I was like, you stood there like deer in the headlights. It's like,
I was like,
Maybe.
um, hi, I'm Alex. I also go by Sage. I'm an artist. I make music, and I'm releasing an album called Smile on June 11th.
Can you tell us about where the name Sage comes from?
Yeah. So the name Sage, um, it's kind of there's a reason behind it. It's basically um, I've always been inspired. Well, first of all, I've been studying Chinese since I was kind of in elementary school. So, like the language, the culture. Um, I've always been inspired by ancient Chinese philosophers. So, people like Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu, Zhuangzi, um, you know, and, in their societies, they were called sages. And that's just a person that I aspire to be. So understanding, just different elements of life. That's that's kind of what that name represents. So that's not my name, but it's the name that I go by.
Okay, so a sage is like a wise person.
Yeah, yeah. So a sage is basically someone in their society who is just looked to for wisdom and insight. Um, you know, so it's not a person that claims to know a bunch of things or just is like I understand life to the fullest. It's just like I don't know, like Uncle Iroh, kind of like you know, you just live life and you just appreciate life, and I feel like that person is I just think it's cool.
It sounds like Asian culture is really important to you and has kind of shaped the person that you now are. Are there aspects of Asian culture that have maybe bled into your music?
Definitely. So you know, different ideas, philosophies, um, even like some Japanese culture, like anime, and just this idea of trying to better yourself as a person, um, and just becoming the best version of yourself. Um, yeah, definitely in my music for sure.
Were there any anime characters you had in mind when you were making Smile?
Yeah, definitely. So like if there was a character who like represented Smile, it would definitely be like Hinata Shoyo from Haikyuu. It's an anime about like a volleyball team, and Hinata is just like this positive person. Even though he gets depressed sometimes or like he gets down, like he always like uses his energy and his passion to like fuel him to his next goal, and that's what Smile is about for sure.
So, how did you come up with the title Smile?
Yeah. So the title Smile comes from this process of trying to understand my truth or just myself better. Um, I'd say it's kind of like it started out as me just trying to understand where my happiness and where joy comes from in my life. And I guess in that process, I realized that the internal feeling of happiness, first of all, it's kind of something that develops, but at the same time, it's also something that is outwardly manifested in a smile. And so, um, you know, it's the album is about me trying to regain or like reclaim my smile again, and that's kind of where that title comes from.
Okay. So, what makes Sage smile? What brings out that happiness in you?
I mean, there's a lot of things that make me smile. And I guess over the process of making this project, that's what I've realized is that there's just these little moments, during your day where I love nature, so being outside, just looking at something beautiful, that just makes me smile. Um, Making music, this whole process has made me smile. I love when I can come up with something and it actually just like comes through and it's just like fire. Like it just like actually sounds good. You're like, oh my God, I did it. And you just smile. Like you just can't help but smile. So, um, yeah, that's just a few things, I guess.
Okay. So you were quite humble in describing yourself as somebody who makes music. Can you kind of walk us through your creative process?
Yeah. Um, so my creative process consists of just kind of trying to manifest my inspiration or like manifest a feeling. Um, and so I guess like, when I get compelled to just like make a beat or, write a verse, I feel like really that really gets me to like start moving, I guess. Um, Even in the mixing process, like being creative in how you mix something and what you do with the vocals. Um, that's that's really that's really the process is just going with the feeling that I have and then trying to manifest that into like some form, like whether that's writing or whether that's in the beat or in the music, and just letting that kind of play out.
Were these like classes you took in college, or is this something that you've explored on your own?
Yeah. So I learned how to, well, I played in my high school band. I played the drums, and that was kind of like where music, I became a participant in the music, but it was just like maybe a couple years ago that I started, producing, and that led me into writing. And I guess I learned a bunch of things on like YouTube and just studying. So yeah, just kind of just taking little things that I learned and then just putting them together. That's really that's where I learned how to make music, how to mix, how to produce, how to write better. Yeah, everything.
Okay. Do you have any like musical inspirations or influences that have shaped your music? Because it sounds like music has been really important to you throughout your life.
Totally. Um, as far as like music inspirations, it would be like I don't know, like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, uh, Pharrell Williams, Outkast, um, but also kind of like not just hip hop, but also like rock, like Fall Out Boy, kind of alternative stuff like the Internet, um, Stevie Wonder, soul music like Marvin Gaye, Earth, Wind and Fire. Um, yeah, just a lot of different inspirations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
a student of music, really.
That's like a lot of stuff for sure.
How would you describe your own music?
My music, there's definitely like a realm that exists, but I don't really know it. I would just say I don't know. It's just like what I like. So if you get to know me, you'll probably understand my music better. But I do like a lot of like soul music, 70s soul music. I like hip hop, alternative hip hop, um, and jazz. Yeah, just a lot of different inspirations and kind of just merging that into one.
Okay. Well, I'm really looking forward to hearing Smile and how all of these inspirations kind of come into one cohesive project. I guess just finishing on this question, finish the sentence. Smile is for anyone who has ever.
Smile is for anyone who has ever failed. All my failures, smile is for you. It's for the people that have been through something and they want to go back. You know what I mean? They want to try again, and finding your smile again. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel good to fail, but you can always do something after, and um, I just want people to, I don't know, get that in a sound form, and that's what smile is, and hopefully it can kind of give you some visuals. It's just for people that are looking for something better. Um, so, yeah.
So you recently just put out a music video called Gravity, and it garnered a lot of love from Instagram and YouTube. Is there anything you want to say to the people who supported you?
Man, there's a lot to say, but I'll say thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody, anybody who's showing love to Gravity, for Smile, for me, just anything. I'm really appreciative. I love doing this. This is a dream of mine, and I'm just grateful to be able to try and do it. And so I just want to say thank you to anybody who's supporting, because it just means a lot. Like, I really appreciate it. So, love y'all. Oh, all right.
Say
Sage.
it.